you illustrious bards and bardettes. Welcome back to I Cast Vicious Mockery. I'm Austin.
I'm Matt.
And we just got finished with like 7 in a row of the most boring conversations we've ever had. It was insane. You should have seen it.
You should have
Oh my God. You would. Oh my gosh. You've never seen anything as boring as this.
I wouldn't. I mean, people would have clicked off this video so fast.
Now, we did record it. So I can see how long we talked right now. And let me tell you, it was 10 minutes. It was about 10 minutes
of the dumbest conversation topics, maybe.
Yeah. We that's what we have to do before we record. We get that out of the way, and that's for you.
Yeah, that's just to be sure that you...
Do I point at the microphone or do I point at the camera?
You should point... what would be the most general direction? I would say pick east or west.
Mm-hmm.
And then just point that way. It depends on who...
This is going to take some calculating.
Who do you want to indicate to first? Wait, you want to go... To go faster, you would want to go against the rotation of the Earth, probably. So you're gonna want to point east.
So that's what we're talking about today, by the way. Is, because everybody knows that we live on Earth, which is a planet.
Do they know that though?
In D&D, though, the planets can be, your planet can be different than it is here. For real. By the way, the real one is flat. I don't know if you knew that about Earth. Can I try to convince you here?
You can try.
Well, go ahead and name some people who've explored all the way to the edge of the Earth and not fallen off.
All of them?
No, none of them. Nobody ever has been, no one has ever proven that they were at the edge of the Earth.
Oh, man, you're right.
And not fallen off.
You're right. No one's ever been to the edge of the Earth.
Right. So how do we know that it's not flat?
Is that what happened to Amelia Earhart?
It's very possible.
Okay. She just flew off the edge of the Earth.
There is another theory, though, actually, with her specifically, which is called the Icarus theory.
Oh, she flew too close to the sun.
Well, literally into it.
Oh,
it was before they knew how high up the sun was, because it is hard to measure it.
Right.
I mean, it's not actually hard to measure it. Archimedes knew how far away the sun was, but his calculations, there was a lot of mistranslation. So they took it to be like really, really far away, but it's actually it's only a couple thousand feet away, actually.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, she probably just flew right into it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was before, because they had the instruments to measure your altitude. They had an altimeter and stuff back then, but I don't think that they had explored enough of the firmament to know how far or close the sun really was, and especially at different times of the day. I could see that flying that fast, you might not account for that.
Right. I mean, it gets closer as the middle of the day. You can tell because it gets hotter.
Yeah, right. Because what it does is it the sun travels in an orbit, essentially.
Yeah, around.
But it's a ring above the Earth where you can see, and it's interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
One reason why I'm not sure about the Icarus theory.
Okay.
Is that.
Yeah. Oh no. It's breaking down already.
No, I can do this.
Okay.
Is that the sun it's not a sphere that casts out light in all directions. It's like a
flashlight. Yeah. It makes sense.
It's like a flashlight.
Yeah.
And if you flew up higher than it, you could just go above it.
And then you could turn it off. Oh man, that's what we gotta do. We just gotta And then we could go as high as we want to and not have to worry.
I mean, you'd still run into the firmament, but yeah. You could probably go through one of the star holes into like the larger lights.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, or like, yeah, maybe they're not as hot. So like,
well, they're just holes.
Oh, sure.
And that's also like where water can come through when it cycles through the water cycle.
Uh-huh.
So listen.
Yeah.
If you need some inspiration for some goofy stuff for a D&D world, D&D setting.
Uh-huh.
Check out a couple of flat earth videos.
Do you think YouTube. Man, do you think that this whole flat earth theory came from people? Oh, what was that movie? What's that
2112.
No.
Or sorry, 2012.
No. The movie where it's the guy, I always forget his name, that actor's name from like Liar Liar.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey. It's a Jim Carrey movie where his life is actually a TV show and he lives.
Oh, the Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Yes. Do you think that's where they got their ideas? They're like, maybe the Truman Show is real, but that's just how real life is. Like it's a dome and the earth is flat and it's actually not that far away, but like a slightly bigger scale than that, than the Truman Show, but like basically the same idea.
What I think we need to do is compare Google search analytics and look at the graph of the Truman Show and how popular that search is compared to flat earth. And that'll pretty much tell us the answer.
And then
right
see
there.
if it matches up. I read a book in college called How to Lie with Statistics, and I think that this is how you lie with statistics.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's by pretending to match up two unrelated graphs.
Well, not only pretending to match up two unrelated graphs, because they could be correlated, but like you have to know going in what you want it to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like deciding what.
Yeah, like you have a certain thing that you need the graphs to show, and you just look until you find the graphs that show that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a really it's a good way of using statistics.
I mean, that's how science is done.
That's how science is done.
That's how you really prove that you're right.
No, but seriously, there's some way wacky stuff in flat Earth videos.
Oh, I'm sure.
About like the portal in the center of the Earth that takes you to the other side, and where all the light comes from the like anti-sun that actually emits darkness instead of light. And like, oh my god, like what the heck? And about how like there's like the moon is actually an extraterrestrial planet that is like the homeland of certain like whatever people or whatever. Oh my god, it's some great stuff, dude.
This is sounding like Scientology stuff almost. Like
well, the creator of Scientology is L. Ron Hubbard.
Yes, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, if it sounds familiar, it's probably because you've seen his name before.
Yes.
Because he's an extremely famous science fiction author.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he's famous for his hey.
Yeah, Basket, you're going to need to go into timeout for a minute here.
He's famous for how prolific he was as a science fiction author. That has actually made me think. It's fine, I think. That I would love to read some of like a synopsis of Scientology on, like on the show. I mean, I guess they'll get mad at us, but
I'm worried to touch anything with Scientology because of the whole thing where like if you show any interest in it, then
they get mad.
Well, they either get mad or they send you stuff for the rest of your life.
Oh, true.
They try to recruit you for the rest of your life.
Are you worried that you would get recruited or just the hassle of, oh, well, you know what I'd worry about, I guess, is the environmental impact.
All the flyers that they would send that you'd have to throw away.
Yeah, stuff like that. Okay, let's not waste the energy on it then.
Right. And I know this because I've seen videos. You don't maybe do this to people, but I've seen videos of that people will like sign up for Scientology stuff under somebody else's name and address and stuff.
Yeah.
And to like get back at them for things.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about it is like when you read this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it just reads like a crazy extension of L. Ron Hubbard's science fiction writing career. I won't say that it's necessarily science fiction because it's like religious fiction. I guess religion is science fiction though, isn't it? Like if you took a religious writing
mm-hmm.
and it wasn't a holy book, it would be classed as science fiction or fantasy.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. And the Scientology, there are like Scientology movies too. Like there are at least 2 actors that I know that are way into Scientology.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise,
Yep.
yes. Tom Cruise.
And Terry Crews.
No.
That's how you remember them. They're both T. Cruz. I'm just joking. It's not Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. I was like, no, it's I don't know. I don't think he is. No, it's the guy from Pulp Fiction. He's in a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies. Why can't I think of
Samuel L. Jackson?
No, it's not Samuel L. Jackson. I can't think of names today, man. I cannot think of anybody's name.
Davy Jones.
It's
Wavy Jones.
Is that the same guy who? No, I'm thinking of some other person. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Because he was in the Scientology movie.
The guy who greets you when you're after your ship sinks and you're cast into the ocean's underworld. The guy who greets you is Wavy Jones. Hey, what's up?
Here's some homebrew for you.
They call me Wavy. My name's not Wavy, but that's what everyone calls me, and it's been so many thousand years that I can't remember my name.
This is from EmpyrealWorlds, but Imperial is spelled like EMPY, real worlds. Maybe it's, well, no, because Imperial and Worlds are both capitalized, so that's definitely how you say it.
Yeah,
definitely how you say it. Anyway, this is a like a companion beast.
Oh,
a Warhound. I thought this was interesting. I actually read it a little bit before. This is like if you want to be, and I can't remember actors' names today, so I'm just not going to bother. But you want to be the girl with the dogs from John Wick 3.
Christina Aguilera.
That's not Christina Aguilera.
Jodie Foster.
Wrong again. Definitely not Jodie Foster.
Gordon Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah, I knew he had a 3-part name. God darn. All right, keep going. I'm ready for it.
Okay. So they have an armor class of 13.
Okay.
Because they wear actual armor. Hey, how exciting. They only have 11 hit points, but their speed is 40. They have keen senses, hearing and smell, so they have advantage on perception checks that are related to those. Their trainer has advantage on animal handling checks to have them do stuff, basically. But they have a bite attack, pretty standard. But but you can have a Warhound variant, and each different variant has a special thing.
Now that's what we're talking about. Let's see it.
Yeah. So a robust Warhound increases their strength score by 2.
Okay.
Sturdy increases constitution by 2.
Is it like one for each stat? Or is there other stuff?
There's more.
Okay.
Clever is intelligence, wisdom, and charisma by 2. Dogged, their hit dice increase to a D10.
Do they level up when you do?
It doesn't say anything about that, no.
Okay.
Bite force. Damage die on their bite attack increases to 2d6 plus 2. Normally it's 2d4 plus 2. Aggressive. As a bonus action, the Warhound can move up to half its movement toward a hostile creature. Oh, you can pick 2 of these, by the way.
Right. Okay.
Any 2 of these. Protective. Reaction, the Warhound can attack a creature within melee range if the creature has attacked one of its allies. Good temperament means friendly creatures within 30 feet gain +1 to charisma ability checks. And beloved companion, friendly creatures within 30 feet gain a +1 bonus to all saving throws. So lots of options.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with it though.
Trouble how?
Maybe there are too many options for me to consider at this very moment.
It's like the Subway cheese problem.
Yeah. Well, actually, let's talk about that for a second.
Sure.
Not the Subway cheese problem. We've talked about that.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I do know though something now of how to cut down those options, because if you look at the player handbook and all the other source, or not, all the other books, all the other handbooks and everything, you have so many classes and subclasses and species of creature that you can be. So how do you narrow all that down? Right?
I don't know. You just pick one.
Yeah, I mean, so you can roll it. You can just roll the class and stuff like that. That's actually one option.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just like have in mind which one you want. But if you have no clue about any of it, I think a good way to start might be, well, if you start with, for instance, like when you're writing music, you start with kind of a feeling that you want the song to give.
Yeah.
To give you, like as the writer, but also other people who are listening to it. And I think with these types of choices, you do the same kind of thing. The War Dog has a lot of different types of options.
Mm-hmm.
The I don't remember any of the names for them, and I don't need to know the names for them right now. You can look them up in the link in the description. But like there's one type of dog that just augments your character's interactions with people and charisma and those sorts of things. There's another style of dog that is used for combat specifically, and so on. So you have to, if you come up with a goal like that, it limits your options really quickly, right? Because if your goal with your dog is combat, you're not going to pick the thing that gives you increased charisma when when it's near you, because how does that help with combat, right? And then you can narrow it down further by saying, all right, well, here's how I want it to fight if it's going to be combat related, right? I want it to fight like, and I know that this maybe sounds obvious in the case of the War Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's less obvious with characters that people do this. I mean, I think most people end up doing it this way, but I just think it's less obvious that that's what you're doing is like, you come up with like, do I want to do like this type or this type? And that narrows it down. It really splits things in half every time you ask a question about it, which is kind of the idea.
Right.
Right.
Like how tangy do I want my cheese to be today? Am I feeling tangy or creamy?
Wait.
Do I want a spice to it?
No, stop. That was a great example until you contrasted tangy and creamy. Why not both?
Is a great example until you. I don't eat cheese very much. So
All right. Well, do you want a sharp cheese or a mild cheese? That might be what you're feeling.
Okay, definitely mild.
You prefer mild cheese?
Yeah, sharp. No, I don't like sharp cheese at all.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so you're looking at mild cheeses. Do you want let me think of some other categories. I mostly have sharp cheese. Do you want it to be what's that? Like a moist or dry cheese?
Moist, not dry. Ugh, dry cheese.
All right, mozzarella, easy. Real mozzarella.
Like real mozzarella.
Yeah, real mozzarella.
Yeah, real mozzarella.
The wet stuff.
The gloopy stuff.
The gloopy stuff. Yeah, but it's so good. Like, have you had real mozzarella?
Probably.
It's good. That's the stuff.
That's what they put on pizza, yeah?
Yeah. Well, real pizza.
Yeah, real pizza. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it then, for sure.
Real pizza with real mozzarella, that's some good stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The low moisture mozzarella is an interesting thing to me. I forget. I'll talk about it another time, maybe.
So I do agree with what you're saying, though. Yeah, that's how you. So yeah, I mean, you asked a question, and I think you answered it the way that I was.
Right.
That I probably would have if I took 2 seconds to think about it.
So now let's build this backwards.
Okay.
What?
You want me to just pick 2 of these randomly? Is that what you
Oh,
mean?
no. What I mean is, or let's use this backwards, I guess. If you're making the war dog, what different dog styles would you want?
Yeah. Okay.
Dog styles.
You're right.
Right.
Styles of dog.
Right. Everybody does dog styles. We all know what those are.
Right.
All right.
All kinds of dog styles. So we're looking at so there's the tough dog.
Big meaty dogs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's the cute dog. Adorable dog.
Not that one. That one was just growling at something, I think.
There's the there's the like quick, nimble dog.
Quick and nimble. Yep.
There's the
smart
dog.
That's what. Yeah, exactly. Like a well-trained dog.
Yeah, a well-trained.
Very, very capable. Right.
Right.
So we've got the tough dog, the like quick dog,
like a tracker dog.
Yep. Tracker dog is good. Yeah. So there are a lot of different dog styles that you could start from.
Yeah.
And then you would to make this homebrew work, you would just add options that give you one of those dog styles. I really like that they let you choose 2 in this, 2 different things, because you might want a dog that's 2 different dog styles.
Well, I think that you need 2 of those variant options to make a style. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like if you pick any of them. Like, what kind of dog do you want to make?
All right, let's make a well-trained utility dog.
Okay, well-trained utility dog. You would definitely want it to be clever, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma by 2. And then you would want it to be protective, probably, or maybe equally, you would want it to have a good temperament.
Which one is protective?
Protective, as a reaction, they can attack a creature that attacks one of its allies.
All right, and then good temperament was the charisma thing?
Yeah.
I don't feel like either of those are actually specifically within that dog style. I think
either of them could be.
Either of them could be, but one of them leans toward the combat side and the other one leans toward the cute dog side. So if you break it up into the dog styles that we've proposed.
Okay, what about a beloved companion?
What's that one do?
+1 to all saving throws.
Oh, that's probably closer to the utility dog. Yeah.
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 That I agree, actually.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you start with the dog styles and then you break it apart like that, so each one has 2 options that lend itself to that, then you can make excellent combo dogs.
Right. And then this is like a whole system where you could have dogs throughout the entire campaign and no two are the same.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot to keep track of, but also that will there's at least one of your groups where the dogs would be the most popular characters by far.
Yeah. And I put a dog already in that group.
Yep. What do they think about it?
They haven't gotten a chance to interact with the dog yet at all.
Hmm.
But I actually was going to use the rules of this to make a dog because I didn't have stats for the dog.
Well, I guess one of the characters has a dog, but it's a gnoll.
It's right. Well, that's a whole thing. That's an entirely different. That's a bag of worms that we don't have to open right now. That gnoll is he sure is smart. For those of you who don't know, the gnoll has a circlet of intelligence that now gives it 19 intelligence. So imagine a super smart gnoll, like almost genius level gnoll.
Not quite genius level though.
Not quite.
Not quite.
But almost there.
Right.
Pretty close.
But not quite.
Not as smart as
not as smart as my character.
Yeah,
no.
not as smart as. They're not so tough. Not so tough.
All right. Do you have more homebrew?
Oh yeah. Oh, I got plenty. Hey, Small Red Robin 14. This is a neat little item. It's a Quill of Forgery. So it has 1d10 uses. So to activate it, someone must write their signature with the quill. Afterwards, whenever you touch the nib of the quill against a surface that it can write on, it perfectly replicates their signature. Nice and simple.
Ooh. That's a stealthy item right there. You got to be careful when you deploy that one.
Right, exactly. Well, it's such a specific circumstance. Mm-hmm. But, you can, it's very clear in my mind, the utility of it.
Now, I think if all right, so here's my ideal use of this thing. Mm-hmm. You have to deal with some sort of bureaucracy on the regular.
Okay.
Can be any form of bureaucracy, but also literally forms. And what you tend to have happen is that you need to get approval from a certain person about a thing. You steal their signature. You start approving stuff without anybody knowing. One character could use this to, maybe that's how they get missions assigned, is that they're signed off by some higher up person in the organization or whatever. And one character could deceive the rest of their team into thinking that these are officially sanctioned missions when really it's just that character doing whatever they want. That's some fun stuff right there.
Right. I imagine a setup where it's a rogue tag team, mm-hmm. two rogues, and one of them, the night before some important meeting, or actually it could just be one rogue, I guess. Like the night he's set up to meet this ambassador whose signature he wants. Mm-hmm. And the night before he sneaks into their meeting place undetected,
right,
and steals all of the quills that are around, like trashes them all. There are no more quills. So then when there's a document to sign and they're like, oh man, I don't have something.
My quills are all gone.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, I got one right here. Because if you think about it, I mean, who knows if it's really like that with quills in D&D time, in the setting. I guess it depends. But like, no one would think twice about a pen nowadays. If someone's like, oh man, I swear there were pens here. Pens go missing all the time.
There's no reason that this item couldn't be a pen.
Yeah, exactly. It could just be a pen, right?
Just
yeah,
depends on your setting, like just whichever. So, but there is actually an interesting thing about quills that makes them a little different, which is that you might make your own quill.
Oh yeah.
Because they're rather easy to make. What you do is you take a feather and you cut off the end at an angle, and then you put a groove in the middle. So
Yep.
you just go cut, cut.
Yep.
And you
That's
have a
it.
quill.
That's a quill.
I think it's roughly like that at least. So as a result, yeah, it might be a little tough to trick somebody because they might just make their own quill.
Just take the feather right out of their cap and call them macaroni.
We'll never understand that. Anyway, though, yeah, we can continue on though.
Okay. More items.
Oh no, I meant from there. Because I really like the idea, that there would be some utility in having 10 copies even of this person's signature on something, right? Like not you don't just use their signature. Oh,
it seems so useful. It just doesn't seem super powerful of an item, but it's one of those kinds of things where it's so simple and yet there are so many applications that it could be used for.
yeah. Well, specifically, at least one application.
Forgery. Perfect forgery.
Yeah. No, but I do like a setting where that is a useful thing to have could be so fun.
Right.
You know, because you'd be running into the same characters all the time then. Then when you use it, you'd have to cover up the fact that you used it. So where does the forged document go? Like, what if that ever comes up again? What if the person comes across it and is like, did I really sign? I mean, it looks like I really signed that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that's not my signature. In fact, that's pretty exactly my signature. That really, really looks like my signature. That's strangely similar to how I write my signature. So I guess I signed this.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you could really gaslight some people with this. Yeah.
And that's kind of the most fun part of D&D.
Gaslighting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Yeah,
I mean, you knew
agree.
that. Exactly. Everybody knew that.
Yeah, of course. You do know, I mean, D&D is just gaslighting.
It is just gaslighting.
Right.
Mm-hmm. How could it? Wait, I don't get how it could be just. Okay, anyway, that's fine. It was we stumbled on that one. It's okay.
So so yeah, lots of applications for it. And I take it back. I think that this item is most useful for a party that doesn't have a rogue at all.
Yeah, because I think a rogue can forge a signature, right?
Yeah, yeah, and usually, well, it depends on whether or not they choose it as a proficiency, like a
Right.
forgery kit.
Right.
But yeah, that's a potential specialty of a rogue, and I think this item is really useful for somebody who just doesn't know how to forge signatures at all. Lots of road noises today.
Yeah, it's interesting that a lot of the things that are quote unquote for rogues or for barbarians or for whoever actually negate the powers of that class
or make them seem obsolete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like there are things for rangers that make it so you don't have to go out and like gather food because it just is automatic. But what that's really saying is don't do this part of the gameplay that your ranger would normally do because that's not fun, I guess. So you can take that out by giving your party or your ranger this item.
When in reality, if a party doesn't have a ranger at all, the item would be really useful.
Then it would be useful. If they have a ranger, it's just saying, oh, and to the ranger in your party, you don't get to do this part of the gameplay. They're going to skip that.
But that could be compelling story-wise. I think it could be interesting to have some sort of story connection where the party stumbles upon this item that really helps them do these things that one of the party members usually is in charge of. And then they start to wonder what their utility in the party even is anymore. Maybe they even start to think that maybe the party is trying to make them obsolete by using this thing so much.
Yeah.
You
You'd
know,
really
and
have to be in the right group for that to work out, but it is the thing, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, it works in a lot of stories, like
Yeah, the story, yes.
Lord of the
I
Rings.
see that. Yeah, we see that all the time in a lot of good stories.
Right.
Um,
I,
I just don't know if most parties could act it out
oh, sure.
without, without taking it so personally. Like, like, what everyone's doing to my character. You know, I think that most people, even the most jaded, detached D&D player, might be like, all right, well, I made this character because I wanted to play them and have fun, not because I wanted them to get kicked out of the party.
Yeah, but then that sets up such a strong moment where they come back and and they
And everyone's
save
like, you were useful. We
they,
thought you were useless. And they're like, great, can I come back with you? And everyone's like, yeah, you're not useless to us. And they're like, yay, finally, they approve of me. I don't
well,
know.
I think it's no, I think you're thinking about it backwards.
Okay,
The party doesn't kick them out. They leave because they don't feel like they're being useful enough.
right.
That would be a stronger story thread. If they got kicked out and then they showed up and were useful and they were accepted back, no, that's dumb because
Right, it is.
that's dumb because that doesn't there's no I guess not everything has to have a moral or whatever, but I don't know,
Okay.
it says something
So
weird.
yes, this would be great if you have the type of person who's like me. Now, I'm fine with playing through one character till the end. That's fine. But I also have a couple of characters on the back burner, ready to go. Like,
Exactly.
if my character dies this session, I can deploy the next one. No problem. So I think this could be good for something like that, where you could have a player relinquish control over their character, only to later have their character come back as an NPC and like save the party.
Yeah. Well, and maybe I think it's compelling. And like you said, there would have to be a group of people who were really good at telling stories. Um, but I mean, again, it's not an episode of ICVM if I don't talk about Critical
Teen
Role.
Titans Go. Oh,
Right. Critical Role. Because that's kind of what happened. I mean, there was sort of a turning point for one of the characters played by Sam Riegel.
right.
And they left the party uh, because of because of misunderstandings and differences and not feeling like they belong. Kind of the situation we're describing here.
Right.
And then, they rolled a new character and it was goofy and silly. And I think he just wanted. I think part of it was that he wanted to play a different kind of character for a while.
Hmm.
But then he brought the old character back in. Excuse me. Um, just because it made sense to like that's kind of where it's kind of where the story went. Like he went on his own journey and figured stuff out for himself and then realized that maybe he was better off with them than without them.
Yeah. I think that's fun as a viewer, but I don't think it's more fun than not doing it for most players.
Well, it depends on how it's done. You know what
uh,
I mean?
yeah.
It definitely wasn't not fun for them.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I would assume that they enjoyed it still, but maybe they enjoyed it for telling the story, in which case it's not the same gameplay that everybody's looking for sure. So I guess maybe that's what your
I'm not
point is.
right. I'm not saying that it's something that everybody should do.
Right.
Right. I'm saying that
You're
if
saying that you have to do it in order to actually be playing Dungeons and Dragons. Is that it?
no, no,
So what you're saying is
I'm saying that if you enjoy that aspect of the game,
Mhm.
that could be interesting.
Yeah. If you and your party enjoy it and all see it the same way, which
Well, that's why communication outside of the game is important too.
right. Yeah, you want to
I wouldn't.
always cut off any communication outside of the game. Is that
That's what I was going to mention earlier. I wouldn't spring that on anybody.
Hmm.
I would definitely say something along the lines of, "Hey, this is sort of where I'm thinking I'm gonna go with this character. What do you guys think?"
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's tough for me. Um that's a tough call to make for me. Like would I tell them ahead of time that my character is on this path, that this is what they're thinking? Or like would I be too worried that that would ruin a moment like that, you
Well,
know?
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't even have to be specifically. This is where my character is going. And I think we're speaking to generally. I think
Mhm.
this might be confusing to follow.
Okay, let's be specific.
Okay, if if you want your character to have a moment where they leave the party because they're mad at everybody about something
Right.
or upset about something in some way,
Mhm.
I think that's fine to do. And I don't think you should tell everybody, "Hey," I'm not saying I think you should tell everybody else in your D&D group, "Hey, I'm thinking about having my character be upset at everybody else's character and leave. Is everybody cool with that?" I don't think that um
Right.
I don't think that that makes any sense. Yeah, it undercuts everything. But I think it would make a lot of sense to have a conversation where you say, "Hey, I really like the story and an emotional interplay between characters. So, just so you guys know, the way my character reacts to your characters and the way, that what they say and what they might do isn't about you guys. It's about me trying to make a decision that I think is interesting for the story because that's what I like about the game."
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it covers that specific situation though, right? Like I don't I st- so I guess I yeah, it's just a tough one to set up, to make sure that everybody's on the same page that this is the kind of thing that can happen without telling them expressly that this is what will happen,
So
because
you could do it the other way. You could do it a different way.
Mhm.
You could talk to the dungeon master about it and
Right.
say, "This is what I'm thinking. Do you think everybody?" And then they could, because then the dungeon master can go to the entire group and say something along those lines. There, I mean, you're right that it would have to be general enough.
Right.
Uh, but um, even something like, "Hey, one of the players expressed an interest in um maybe exploring other character types and things like that." So they might have characters in and out every once in a while. Is everybody okay with that?
That's probably the way to go, is
Right.
to say, "Hey, like, if you guys ever wanna switch characters, if you ever wanna try a different character, we can do that. We'll need to find a reasonable way to have your character exit, whether they die or they choose to go off on their own way. But if you want to switch to a different character, if you want to try something else out, we can make that happen. And then you can kind of help me come up with what we'll do to get rid of your current character.
You're right. Because I think if that's very clear, I just think that if that's clear, then it won't be upsetting. And it will turn the situation from an upsetting one to an interesting one. Now suddenly everybody's interested. Maybe not even in the fact that the other character left, but in the it does a lot of things actually, because now they're interested to learn what your next character is going to be like.
Right.
And then it could be even more of an exciting turn when that character comes back eventually, maybe.
Right, exactly.
They might not expect that.
Right. So yeah, I think that's okay. We handled it. We've done it.
We did.
I think we've done it.
And we did all of the talking out loud, so you guys can follow along.
Yeah. And
figure out how we came up with this conclusion.
Yes.
So you don't have to do it yourselves.
Right.
It's perfect.
Yep. It's you don't have to show your math. It's already written up on the board.
We wrote it all up. This is an odd problem number in your textbook, and so the answer was in the back.
Yep, it was there the whole time. You probably could have just looked at it, but
yeah,
we figured it out for you.
Yep. The next one's even though, so you're gonna have to figure it out yourself. This is a good one to end it on. Right here. I've got taranwandering. Taran. Taranwandering. I was gonna say Terran, but Terran would make me think it was Terran as in like earth, like earthen.
Oh yeah.
You know, but that's not how it's spelled.
Nope. Yeah, but no, that is a regular first name that I've heard pronounced Terran. So
no, I think you're right. So this is the College of Dropping Out, a bard subclass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
the bard subclasses have the best jokes because it's a college,
right?
And it's just the most real.
It's
but simultaneously not real thing.
Any of you who have been to college or even just high school, which feels similar to college in some ways, at least from my experience. So when you reach level 3, you can plagiarize ideas. So whenever an ally you can see or hear uses one of your inspiration die to modify an attack roll or ability check or saving throw, you can use your reaction to copy their idea. If you do the first time in the next 10 minutes, when you make an attack roll against the same creature, check for the same ability or roll the same saving throw that your ally made, you can add the same number that your ally rolled to your roll. So if you do the same thing that they did, you can add the same number to your roll.
Right.
That's pretty great.
That is pretty good.
I like that a lot. Also at 3rd level, you're the life of the party. After years of socializing with others, when you spend 10 or more minutes casually talking with a friendly creature, you can choose up to 6 friendly creatures, which include yourself, within 30 feet of you who can hear and understand you, and they each gain temporary hit points equal to your level plus your charisma modifier. They cannot gain temporary hit points from this ability again until they've finished a short or long rest. Additionally, you have advantage on saving throws against the poisoned condition. I get it. Nice.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that little touch.
Yep.
That's a good one. Then frequent ditching is a level 6 ability. As a free action, once per short rest, you can swap any 1st or 2nd level spell you know for another spell of the same level from the bard list. That's a weird thing for what it's called. Additionally, when you finish a long rest, you can swap any one bard spell you know for another bard spell of the same level. That's insane. That's really good.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say it's
It's
overpowered.
pretty good for a bard.
Oh, now you're going to do that with bards too?
I mean,
okay. That's really good though. Because normally I think you can only switch your spells that you know when you level up. As far as I know.
For bards, yeah, I think so.
For a bard, yeah. Or maybe not even. I'm not sure. I think so. Actually, I think so though, because there are casting classes where you prepare spells. So there's a huge list of spells that you know, and every day, every long rest, you can prepare them. But the ones where like sorcerers are like that too. When you just know a spell, I don't think you can swap it out unless you
level up.
And you know, man, this has some serious implications. Because if you have like a week out of combat or something, you can completely change up your whole dealio.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then finally at 14th level, you can misspell. Once per long rest, you can try to cast any spell from a level you have access to, regardless of its class restriction or material components. However, this is exactly like the one. Yeah, you can change, add, or you must change, add, or subtract one and only one letter in the spell's title so that it suggests a meaningful but different effect. If your DM rules that the misspell does not make sense as a meaningful phrase, the effect fails. The DM will choose to either let you cast the original spell or to create a useful but possibly unintended effect that reflects the misspelled implied effect to the best of their ability. The DM has great latitude in ruling what occurs. For example, chromatic orb might be misspelled as chromatic orc. In this case, the DM might rule that you summon a colorful orc under your control.
What does I cast Viscous Mockery do?
Ooh.
I don't actually know. I guess that's... Yeah. I think you... No, it's too many letters moved. Never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that might not work.
Yeah.
Alternatively, healing word might be misspelled as healing sword. DM ruling that you create a spiritual weapon that heals your allies on successful attack.
Or you could get healing ward, WARD, which a ward is like a type of shield thingy.
Right, like a something that stops or keeps away something.
So like, what would that do?
It would. I would say.
Does it give you the effect of shield and the effect of healing word?
No, I think it would. Ward off all
healing
in a specific area.
Hey, that's useful too.
Which is useful, and it could be useful.
All right. Let's spell some more spells.
Okay.
Are we gonna be able to come up with any?
It might. I mean, off the top of my head,
Frostmite would be a little icy bug.
A little icy bug.
Yeah.
Nice. That'd be adorable. Cute little icy bug. Yeah, that'd be nice. I had a spell in mind, but I'm just not getting anything out of it. Oh, okay. What about greeter invisibility? Like you greet someone.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would that?
What would it do?
All right. So I think. Greeter invisibility. It would give invisibility to a greeter. What is that? How does it tell us somebody's a greeter?
Just the people at Walmart.
Yeah, I get.
All Walmart greeters become invisible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all Walmart greeters in the world. I think
It just makes them all invisible.
Yeah.
I
For
was
probably 60 seconds.
I was thinking that you could stay invisible for as long, for
as long as you want,
in perpetuity,
as long as you don't greet anybody.
No, under the condition that you greet everybody that you see. And if you fail to greet somebody,
there you go.
Then it fails. That's what I was thinking.
All right, what would Thunder Save do?
Thunder Save?
Yeah, Thunder Save.
Oh boy. What are you
tell me if you can come up with an idea for Thunder Save. Thunder Wave.
Thunder Wave. Okay, Thunder Save.
Thunder Save. I feel like that something about on a succeeded saving throw.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
The like whoever casts an effect on you takes thunder damage or something.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's easy.
I like that.
It's easy and like
cool.
Extremely unique.
Right.
Because normally you would cast that, a spell that requires a saving throw and be like, all right, that's going to be guaranteed at least half damage. And so it's a pretty safe move. It's not very risky to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to risk missing. But now you are risking something. Because if they succeed the save, you take damage. I like that. That turns stuff on its head.
I also like things that turn other things on head. So, what about... Oh man, I really like Chromatic Orc. I keep thinking about it. I keep thinking about Chromatic Orc. Man, there's so many D&D spells that I know, and yet I can't think of any of them. What about...
Dude, what about May of Frost?
May of Frost?
May of Frost. The month.
The month of May?
The month of May. It takes Ray of Frost and turns it into a 10th level spell. It freezes the entire Earth for a month.
From the month of May?
Yeah, the whole month of May. It would be the next month of May on the calendar. Assuming that your setting has the month May. Which probably most don't. But if it does...
okay. There's a spell called Contagion. What if you just change it to Contagious? Oh no, that's too many.
That's two letters.
Too many letters.
Two letters.
Too many letters.
Two letters. No.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Too much letters.
Too much letters. Too much letters going on. All right. Man. There's... Oh. Well, okay, so there's Death Ward.
Mm-hmm.
What if you do the opposite? What if you call that Death Word?
Then it would be what show? Oh shoot! What shonen anime was it? Where was it Bleach? The thing where like if you said the secret word, you would die. At the one point.
Oh man, that could be anything.
Yeah, it happened a couple of different shows. I think.
I'm sure. The whole secret word and you die thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, that definitely. I mean, that was all over the place in anime. I'm sure.
Yeah, somebody would be like, "Oh, I know what the secret word is. It's blah," and then they die. And then somebody else would be like, "But I didn't say it. Why am I dying?" And then like
it flashes back to the two words next to each other combined.
Except it's in English. and
so they have to do some crazy, stupid translation.
Well, no, sometimes I swear I remember one where they didn't change it. So the dude said orange juice and died because the word was like, I don't know, the word was like fairy or something. And then it was like orange juice fairy.
Orange juice equals fairy. Don't you know?
Look at the middle letters. It spells oh, that's right. It spells fairy. Oh, I died too.
It's a slippery slope for those anime characters to be drinking orange juice.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think orange juice was like actually the word too. Guys, if you can find this, holy crap, I can't figure it out.
Yeah, please tell us. Please tell us in the comments below. I don't know why the stuff like that. My brain went on a. Do you know about I don't remember what it's called, but do you know about the anime where the original was just bad, like not even funny bad, but just like terribly made. So when it was brought over to America to dub, they were like, the only thing that you have to keep the same is all the characters' names and like general stuff. But otherwise, do whatever you want. And they changed it into a completely different show. Like they completely changed it.
I don't know about this. About what? Everything.
It's like Ghost Stories or like Ghost Adventures. I don't remember exactly what it's called. But I haven't seen it, but I've seen like clips from it. It looks hilarious. It's like an adult only type dub though. Like no kids allowed.
No kids allowed.
No kids allowed. But
Basket, you're not allowed.
Yeah, none for you, Basket.
It depends on how you consider her age.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, but whenever I think of that anime, I always think, for some reason, you see those like G.I. Joe PSAs that were dubbed over. So the first thing that comes to mind is pork chop sandwiches. The first thing I think of. Oh, man. It was a full cycle. You said, what did you even say?
Orange juice?
Oh, we were talking about those anime where the word
is like,
sometimes. And then I thought of that dub thing that was crazy. And then I was like, pork chop sandwiches. It was a whole, that's how my brain works sometimes.
Well, this episode has a title now.
I sure hope so.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Right. I'm glad.